Happy Thursday, Melbourne. This is the Melbourne Mayor Podcast. I am your co-host, Jesse Hall with Space Coast Podcast here in beautiful, sunny, sometimes, Melbourne, Florida.
Sunny?
Not lately, right?
Well, every 15 minutes it changes. You know that, Jesse.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Jesse?
Things are great. Things could be better.
Yeah, and we're almost at the weekend. You know, we have, it's tomorrow's Friday, then we're going to have a great weekend, and we're going to see, it looks like that little, I'm not going to call it a hurricane, but a little tropical storm. It looks kind of like it's fizzing out. So
A little disturbance off the coast.
Yeah, well, it's going to make the news in June. Can you imagine that? We don't need hurricanes in June. We don't need any at all right now.
No,
we don't. So
they can stay away.
No, they stay away. So, but no, everything else is going really well. But had a great week. We'll do a little bit update. I have a little Margaritaville update.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I have that. Got to tour the new police department that being built. But today was actually a very, very special day. It's something that we've been that's been worked on for a while, and I'm going to have. Good friend Buddy Morrow here jump on here in a second and talk about the project. And as mayor, part of every city, not just Melbourne, but we're grappling with homelessness and whether it be affordable housing, homelessness, and addiction, drugs, all that comes into play. And really, mayor, it's tough sometimes, but when you see a great organization step in and really work toward faith-based solutions, you got to say thankful. And we're gonna talk about Helen's house, which we did the groundbreaking today. And I want to introduce my special guest here, Buddy. Hello, Buddy.
Hey, Mayor, how you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. We had a great sunny day to do our groundbreaking, though, today.
Yeah, wasn't too hot. You were smart enough to do it like at 10:30 in the morning. We didn't get rain either. That was great.
No, I tell you, it was a wonderful day.
Well, it was almost like divine intervention. Like somebody said, "Hey, upstairs," and we want to make sure it's a great day, right?
We were doing a lot of praying, really were, and we thank you for your presence there.
Oh, no,
really made a difference.
Well, we have a lot of work to do. I mean, today was just the groundbreaking, and I'd like for real quick. You're of course with the CITA, and tell us a little bit about the project. Really, I will tell you, it's been kind of low key. And I don't know, maybe that's by design in a way, but then again, the impact to the community is going to be really wonderful.
Well, we wanted to get started when the pandemic really, began to kick in and everything, and so it set us back a little bit, and we have kept it a little bit low key. We've been blessed, though. Lord gave us the money to build this, a little short because of the increase in costs from everything going up after the pandemic, things like that and everything. But we're out there now. Everybody knows about it, and you being there today helped us get that out. It really did, and we appreciate that. So thankful for it.
Well, do me a favor real quick. Tell us what the project is, and remember, think about just to start from the beginning.
Well, several years ago, CITA had a women's shelter. What all happened to it, I don't know. It's something that we have some great ministries here that do take care of women with children. We started this with a desire to try to fill a void there. There were women with children that were sort of slipping through the cracks because of the criteria set by some of these great ministries that do it. And we wanted to be able to fulfill that for those women. And we actually turn away 2 or 3 women with children almost weekly that are looking for a place, wanting to get out of a car, have no other place to go. And so we started this project. We call it Helen's House because Johnny and Helen Ellison started CITA Mission back in 1969. And always it seems like in ministry and things like this, the man gets all the accolades. The key to the city, road named after him, things like that, and we just Miss Helen was hard
the
worker.
Backbone.
Yeah, she
the
was
backbone?
the backbone.
Yeah, the backbone. Okay.
Yeah. And we just wanted to make sure that she was recognized for all the hard work that she put in the ministry. So we called it Helen's House, and going to build it in 3 phases. Our first phase we kicked off, and I guess you would sort of call it a groundbreaking after the groundbreaking, because the day that we were awarded our permit, the next day we had equipment out there, started the building. It's so greatly needed. And The first phase we'll be able to take up to 36 women and children in there as total, and then when all the phases get through, we'll be at about 82.
About 82.
About 82.
82 women and children. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more than just taking them in.
Oh yes, it's more than just taking
tell
them
us
in.
like what do you got, because part of I believe part of government responsibility is to have a kind of a safety net to help people get back on their feet. And so tell us kind of what how you're doing that and what you're offering.
We're going to follow a little bit like our men's shelter there at CITA downtown. We have our programs for addiction. We have our programs for life skills. Matter of fact, we're putting in a counseling center to where we'll have some mental health counseling here in the next few months coming up. Already prepared that building there. But we have the help in getting GEDs. We work some things out with some of the local colleges to help these ladies in. We'll have daycare that's provided so we can do the training for these ladies and help them find that job placement training that we can't do. Get the education that they may need to move on out. And hopefully we'll be able to, we're putting in a first-class kitchen there and be able to do a culinary art type situation there to where they can go in and get a job and don't have to start down right at the very bottom. But we believe in accountability.
Oh, and there's no doubt about that. And what I really like about this process, besides you're going to have that bringing the women, children in, is the fact not only really accountability, but it's the fact that they have the ability. You'll be doing finance training. You teach them how to. A lot of people. Look, I'm a big proponent in high schools right now, in schools, and we need to really focus on getting back to the basics. Kids, when they graduate, or even adults, you got to be able to, read and write and balance the checkbook and understand finance. And the only way you're going to beat, this housing crisis is ability to buy your house and understand. And it's tough, but you got to have the basics, and that's what you're really offering as well. So that, that's just not just putting someone in there to live. It's the fact of helping them get them on their feet so they can move forward in life.
And one of the things, people think this may be a little foolish to them, but when a person comes into our shelters, we give them $4 credits. I mean, it's not $4 cash, but we give them $4 what's considered to be credits. We have what we call our shack there, has some sodas and snacks, things like that. They can spend money in our thrift stores. We give them all the clothes they need when they come in.
Right.
And then they see those little items they may want. But we give them a checkbook ledger, and they have to start keeping up with that.
Nice.
And
that's brilliant.
And if they get that every day, $4.
Really?
And yes, and if they overdraw, guess what? They're penalized.
Really?
They're penalized.
That's neat.
And so we want to start that financial upcoming as fast as we can. And then when a young lady, just as the men are, when they get to the point to where they start work, they're automatically put on a budget. And they meet with a financial person. Other than the classes that we teach there, they're put with a financial person, and that budget is checked every week. They're accountable, and just like all of us do at time to time, we may mess up a little bit, but there's not a whole lot of mess ups, so you're penalized for it. So.
There you go. I will tell you, some of the numbers are pretty staggering, and I look at numbers all day long, but seeing the women that you'll be bringing in and children, with part of addressing homelessness, but it's also the majority of the women have been in domestic violence situations.
Just about. Probably 98% of the women that we deal with come from some type of domestic violence situation.
So,
really do.
That is absolute. That's off the charts.
It really is.
And so, just think about a woman with children. They have nowhere to take their child, and that's terrible. And to see that kind of number, it really breaks my heart. It really does. And as a mayor, what do I do about that? I can't do it alone. Government can't even do that.
No, government can't. And I was just in a national rescue mission meeting just a few weeks ago, and speaking with the people from Washington, that about 80% of the monies that they give out to help homelessness goes to organizations. But you turn around, and the Christian organization, the faith-based organizations, does about 68 to 70% of taking care of the homeless that are in our country.
Well, and I'm going to call it what it is. It's more effective as well.
I would agree with that fully.
No, it's definitely more effective. And I'll tell you from personal and past experiences of being a police officer, with the CITA, a lot of people at times said, I don't want to go to the CITA because there's rules. I mean, I have to be accountable. I'm not allowed to stay out all night, and I've got to go to work. And, we hope that someone gets to that point that they understand it and they want the help. But then again, you're helping the people that definitely need the help and want the help. So you're more successful overall.
That's the biggest thing. You really can't help someone in the homeless situation or addiction problem until they really want help.
Yeah.
And we still have few that come through. They don't make the program. They don't really care to be there. But our beds still stay full at the men's shelter, and we expect to fill up very quickly there at the women's shelter. We really do.
And I always felt this way. Some people, when they think about the religion and stuff, they it may kind of concern them. But the fact is, if you were to look at the commandments and you look, we should live by those rules anyway. And thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, and that makes us a better society. It makes us thou shalt love your neighbor, and that makes us better people.
And we do have all the programs there that for whatever it may be, life skills, GED, everything that they need to get their lives back on track. Mm-hmm. We don't have anything new under the sun,
right?
But we do have the Lord Jesus Christ, and He makes a difference in their lives. He really does, and that's one of the reasons that we don't really take the government money, is because we want to keep Christ number one in our ministry. We're going to do that, and I don't even know whether the people, the last numbers that we've been able to find goes back to 2014, and it costs the taxpayers of Brevard County a little over $20,000 a homeless person back then, and overall about $30,000.
I disagree with that. I think it's more.
Well, I think it's a lot more now.
I think it's a lot more, and I'll tell you why. That doesn't really, in my opinion, doesn't take an account for and that's for services and such, but it doesn't take care of a third of our police and fire calls are quality of life issues and stuff. So it's very taxing on the government, and so I think it's a lot more than that. But those are again, that's from being inside, seeing experience. So those are just raw numbers, and I think it's much higher.
Those are raw numbers going back to 2014. I couldn't even imagine what it is today. And of course, with you down at City Hall and our city council members having to deal with this, and it's an ongoing problem. I don't care where you're at. And until we're, affordable housing is a problem everywhere you go. I don't care what the name of the city or the state is, affordable housing is a problem. And so this gives them an opportunity to come in. We have about 8 or 9 men that are ready to move out of the mission, that have saved enough money to get that first month's rent, the security deposit, last month's rent, have gotten their driver's license back, purchased a car. And so, when we put them on that budget, we expect them to be able to, when they move out, to be able to live on their own and not have to seek anything from the government whatsoever.
And your annual impact report even shows some of the stories from the people coming out, that their success, and where they say, I had really nowhere to go or what to do, and now that they're really self-sufficient.
They really are, and we give the Lord credit around there. Like I said, we've got all the programs, but He's the one that really does the transformation in someone's life, and helps them to get to that point. And we've got gentlemen that are on our staff now that are some of the best counselors for addiction and homelessness that you can ever have.
Yeah, and unfortunately, addiction is something that's really touched everyone's family, including mine. I mean, no one's immune to that. It's not, and they're not.
Every family has had that problem in it somewhere.
Yeah.
And we've had everyone from a doctor, lawyers, just about any kind of profession you can think of that have been in our men's program. And,
so you have, of course, the Helen's House thrift store. That's in Aurora. Mm-hmm. And the new Helen's House, it's right there behind it, pretty much.
Pretty much so.
And Jesse, can you show up, put up a little bit of the construction pictures? So we're looking at 3 phases of a build. So go ahead and tell us about the first phase, and then second phase and third phase.
Well, the first phase, we didn't want these to be apartments at the time, because our desire is to not get too comfortable, and not plan on it being your apartment forever.
Right.
But so we have a full kitchen, and one of the reasons for that kitchen I mentioned earlier about putting in culinary arts training there. But we have a full kitchen. Our offices will be in this building. and then we'll have 8 bedrooms that can hold up to 4 people in a bedroom. And if we do have a larger family, some of these bedrooms have the dividing doors where we can open the doors and put a larger family in there if we need to. So that phase, and then the other 2 phases will just be bedrooms.
Okay.
They have one office in it and a bedroom.
Okay.
We'll be 24-hour security.
Sure.
Because a lot of these women, like we said, are domestic violence and have been
Sure.
through real trauma. And sometimes these husbands, boyfriends are still looking for them. So
Yeah.
we have to be very careful with that.
Yeah, and definitely you've got to have security, and this kind of goes hand in hand. I know about a week ago, a little more over a week ago, I did a take aim with the mayor, and it helped benefit a great organization that works on the trafficking issue around here, and you really don't realize that there's so much that goes on in this county and this state, and it's crazy.
Really, it's been going on for a long time. I helped on some of the legislation, first trafficking legislation in Tallahassee when I was working with children's homes. And it's just really in the past several years come to the forefront, and people see the number of sex trafficking victims that we have there. And it's something that we may look at down the road. Of course, we're willing to help anybody that comes and knocks on our door.
Sure.
Almost to just about any point. And so, we would be there to help that person too. But like I said, one of the things that I think we really have to look at in the future, I'm always looking in the future.
Sure.
And mental health is a big problem around here. We're dealing with that more. Addiction a lot of times brings that on. But I think maybe that might be our next project down the road. We get all this done, or we get this first phase done. We'll start working on that while we work on the others.
Well, and it's actually to me, I feel like the system once it kicks somebody out, very tough for the person to get back in the system and get a job. I mean, because a lot of people, they lose the confidence, or they may not be able to get a job because of their background or their criminal history, and really they're stuck, and I think that having a based program like this and a place to go, you can get with employers that employers are looking for good employees.
They are, and I guess if we saw one good thing in the pandemic was that it opened up some of these fellas that have felonies are able to get work easier than they were before, which that's a blessing. And then we work with a lot of employers around here, finding those jobs that are available for them. And we get calls every week of people wanting folks to work because, we train our guys there. It's one of the things, until you get a job, until you get to that point in our program, you're required to work around there. And that's one of the things, too, we talk about people don't want to come. A lot of folks this time, especially our younger generation, they haven't done a lot of work in their lives.
No, but they will. They'll have no choice.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it's I tell any of the younger people, look, I mean, learn a trade. I mean, it's getting hotter, and get into AC. Find a good AC company you could learn from. And I actually started out. I went to the Brevard Electrical Apprentice Program, and I learned to be an electrician. That was my first thing before I went off in the service and worked for Brevard County Road and Bridge. And I'm very good at electrical work. I can pretty much, I could go into that trade if I wanted to. But to have that kind of life skill, I can do anything.
Air conditioning refrigeration is something that they're looking for, mechanics to do that right there.
I know
something good to get into.
Yeah.
I used to be part of a business there in Mississippi before the Lord called me in the ministry. We have an appliance. We teach appliance repair at the men's mission right now. We have a full-time instructor that works with these guys. And, of course, we have our 2 thrift stores, the one you were speaking about, Helen's House on Aurora Road, and then our campus store. And so we survive on about 65% our thrift store revenue. And so these appliances come in, we're able to repair them. We teach our guys, and we've had 2 or 3 that have gone out and gone to work for appliance businesses.
So tell everybody where your main campus is.
Our main campus is right there, 2330 Johnny Ellison Drive, which is right on Harbor City Boulevard, almost downtown.
Yeah.
In the historical business, south of the bridge there. And we actually started in Malabar, though. A lot of people don't realize that.
Actually, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
really?
Johnny and Helen Ellison started in their home and remodeled that home to start taking in guys that were alcoholics. Johnny had a drinking problem at one time, and that's really how the mission got started. He had a burden for people that were alcoholics, had problems, and they started bringing people in their home. 1969.
So let me ask you, and actually I just had a Sharon Hebner. Hello, Sharon, she has a question. How do you volunteer?
How do you volunteer?
That's a great question.
Yes, it is. Call 321-752-2900 and ask for Heather Branham, and she'll get you volunteering. I promise you that.
Okay, we're going to put that up here in a little bit, and like I said, we're actually going to follow up on this later too, because when it's time and we're building these, and I know I'm not trying to go off the rail here, but when we started building the city dog parks, we worked with volunteers, and we had hundreds of volunteers. So that's what we need to do here when when it's time to paint. You get all the paint you want at the Brevard landfill for free, and we need to get paint, and we need to get a call for volunteers, because there might be a lot of people out there that really can't give the money, but they can donate old items they have or something. They can donate it. That's one way that you can really help the CITA and Helen's House, is donate any old clothes, anything that you got that's worth some value. Come on now, look in your closet. There's a lot of stuff that you don't need in there. But if you have old furniture, they'll take their donation, and it goes to the thrift store, and all that money goes to Helen's House and the CITA mission. The rescue. So that's one way.
Yeah, I always say, gently used furniture. We love that gently used furniture because that keeps the doors open.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize how much we are involved in the community, and we do survive with a lot of volunteers. But even in our thrift stores, we give out vouchers almost daily for clothing, for furniture, things like that are needed, bedding. That's needed for people that are need a hand up. I like to say a hand up, not a handout.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was sharing just a little while ago, during the pandemic, we were giving out, we could not individually give out food to people.
Right.
But we were in conjunction working with the food bank, and we were doing anywhere from 6,800 to 8,000 pounds of food a week that we
8,000 pounds?
Yeah, we had churches and food banks that are already operating. Got some churches that start food banks, and we're able to get it to them. And they were able to have their food pantries, and we're still doing about 3,200, 3,500 pounds a week that we give out to these food pantries.
So actually, this is the impact in 2021.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure these numbers are right?
Yes, sir, they are.
You swear? I'm
I
not
swear.
making you do that.
I swear.
I don't mean to make you swear.
We use HMIS.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right. Your impact in 2021. That's a CITA's impact, and that's local.
That's local.
There's no way.
Yes, sir.
So impact in 2021, 53,355 nutritious meals served.
Yes, sir.
In 1 year.
1 year.
17,820 nights of shelter for people.
Yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
5,564 loads of laundry done for people.
And I believe that's probably short because we wanted to make sure we were short on those numbers. We didn't keep up with those.
Of course, yeah.
Average them out. And I don't know. I'd go somewhere just to get my laundry done free.
And then you figure 10,280 spiritual counseling small group chapel service hours, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's hours. So volunteer hours provided, 11,520. 4,840 hours of career counseling and budgeting. So you're almost at 5,000 hours of career counseling and budgeting. Wow, that's crazy.
Well, part of being in our program is that we require these men to be involved in this stuff, and they have to stay involved in it if they're going to stay in our program. People say, how long does the gentleman stay there? We talk to them and try to get them to check in for 6 months if we can, but really we would like to have someone a year at a minimum. Especially in addiction, the relapse rate on someone that's in a 30, 60, 90-day program is just, them not ever relapsing is almost impossible. So getting them there in that longevity period, you have the opportunity to work with them. A lot of these guys, because of misdemeanors, even the felonies, things like that, they've lost their driver's license. Mm-hmm. It takes a while to work through that process to get them their driver's license back and then to save that money up to where they can move out. If they're not ready to move out, they're going to, there's a great chance of failing.
Yeah.
So we want them to make sure they have that bank account, everything it takes to move out, and we still help along the line. We're trying to do a better job of aftercare.
Sure.
Do a better job of aftercare.
Well, this impact that we just discussed is what you did in 2021. The impact that you will have even more with the Helen's House will be astronomical. And I can tell you, as a mayor, I can't imagine saying, we're going to take off the books in 1 year almost 18,000 nights of shelter for people. I just can't imagine that. I mean, that'd be tough on our community.
Well, with the numbers that we have in homelessness right now, there's only about 36 or 38%, I believe, from the last point of count, contact that we had there, that are sheltered. The rest of those are on the street somewhere. Yeah. And if we had all 3 phases built now, I believe that we could load that up in about 30 days.
Yeah, and we could make a dent in that. And and again, it's not, and it's also getting people in the right direction to, again, getting jobs, getting back on their feet, and and especially like you said, women with children. I mean, to have the ability for them to be able to go to work and know that their child or children's being taken care of, and they have somewhere to go home, and and actually structure, because we got to look at the future. What about these kids that they need to have that structure? They got to and you'll be able to provide that with the mother being at work to that can save a child.
Well, our greatest problem, I think, each and every one of us needs structure in our life, and that's gone away down in society this day and time. And really, the burden for the women and children together came to me probably about 10 years ago. I ran children's homes, started here in Melbourne at Florida Children's Home, and ran children's homes. And we took in these 5 children. Mother had married her high school sweetheart, never had worked, never had really any training, made it through high school. And work got slow in the Tampa Bay area where we were at the time. Mm-hmm. And this father went over to Miami area and worked with relatives in construction and all that. Became addicted. Then so much trouble, walked off and left mom and the kids. Mm-hmm. And she had a grandmother was the only relatives that she really had left, and she was unable to take care of the children. We took the children in and could not find a place to where they could go and be together.
As a family.
Oh. And that's what's needed. We got to get back to that family market and get it done. So that's really what put a burden on my heart, because this mother, we should have been able to keep those kids and have a place where that mother comes home and she's there with her kids. Yep. And nurturing her kids and loving her kids. And so that's where it came about, and that's what we're going to do at Helen's House.
And we broke ground today.
Broke ground today, man.
We broke ground. And I have to commend you, the volunteers. You have a lot of great volunteers. The Williamses for donating the property. This kind of talk about your staff and kind of give the kudos, because this is such a big project. This is definitely a great team.
We've got a great team. Lord's put together a great team there. Usually in the ministry, we're not paid a lot of money. But they come and they do it because they love the Lord, and they're really burdened for those that are homeless in the situation. Like I said, some of our best counselors there, 2 of our best counselors there, come from that situation. They actually came through our program, and years later are back working with us. But volunteers too. We couldn't do it without the volunteers, and the Lord's put that team together. Man, they were out there. I didn't have to ask anybody to do anything. They were out there at 7 o'clock this morning putting tents up and that kind of stuff. And they want to serve, and they want to serve others. And we're so blessed to have that in this area. And we couldn't do it. This is not CITA mission. This is community. Yeah. And this is the church working. It really is.
I kind of said today during the groundbreaking about my experience, and I was young. I remember growing up in Sherwood Park, which is North Melbourne. I remember it was in the late 70s. I had to be probably 9 or 10 years old. I think it was like around 1979, 1980. And I remember, because my father worked for GDC in Palm Bay, and GDC was building, and they went bankrupt, and a lot of people lost their jobs. But he was a roofing contractor also, and it was different back there. Everything was hand nailed, and but I remember when my dad got laid off, Remember, interest rates were very high. I mean, we didn't have money. I remember being hungry, and I remember my dad sitting there at the kitchen in little dining area with just his hands covering his face. He didn't, no food. And the church that we weren't even a member of brought food, bags and bags of food for our family. And I remember it lasted, but I'll never forget the joy on my parents' face, knowing that they can feed their kid. So,
unfortunately, I've never been in that situation. But I see these moms, I see these families that come in, and you see these little kids, and sometimes they're dirty. They're not wearing the really nice clothes at all, and to give them some food and see them sit down and see a little kid eat more food than I do because they're so hungry. Yeah, it breaks your heart. It really does. I listened to your story today and actually brought tears to my eyes because I think about some of those little kids. I thought about during Father's Day. I wrote in one of our newsletters that we had a mom and her son came up and was looking for some help, and it was almost Father's Day, and as we were talking and they were doing the paperwork for her to get some food and some clothes, the little boy asked me if I would pray for him to be able to see his dad. Wow. And so I prayed with him there, asking him, and then when he was off playing with something over there, a little toy, his mom looked at me and said he hasn't seen his dad but about 3 times in his life. Wow. And so, our goal at the men's mission is to get these guys plugged back in their dad. Matter of fact, when they go to work, the first thing we look, do they owe child support? And that is the first thing on our financial budget list is child support, so they can start that child. We had this year, a gentleman didn't think he would ever see his children again, and they spent Father's Day together. Wow, this year. Yeah, man, it's great. It really is.
Yeah, there's nothing better than that. And my story, I don't like really telling my story like that because really I kind of focus on the future. But at the end of the day, that makes me it makes me realize the power someone has, the ability to make your life better. And I as mayor, I look at now, not only do we need great community a community structure like what you have and what your volunteers and you offer, but you gotta have great jobs for people. You have to have the ability for people to do better in life and to provide for their family, and so it's really a balancing act. But really, as mayor, and I said today, my job is to represent everybody. Yes. and everybody, and there's people that's less fortunate that doesn't have a voice like we do, or and people said to me, and they've called me and said, I have this problem, that problem. Mayor, I didn't think you would really even care about what I had to say, and hey, I've been there also myself. You're just as important as I am. I'm a regular person like everybody else. The only difference between me is, I've been blessed by the Lord to, serve our city, and until I'm done, and I'll go serve in some other capacity, whatever. Maybe I'll go cut lawns. I'll go cut people's lawns for them. I don't know.
I grew up in a politician's home, and so I feel for you, brother, because I know how it goes.
Well, the thing is, I'm not a politician. I know people
not
say,
a politician.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, people that know me. I mean, I'm going after this to play basketball. I'm probably the biggest smack talker there is. I tell people I drop more dimes than a botched armored car robbery. I have fun. So I'm a regular person. I grew up here. I mean, I went to O'Galley. I'm proud to be a Commodore and love Mel High. I give them Raz, but I love Palm Bay because it's in Melbourne. But all together we're a family, and we just hope we try to make it better for our community and make our community better.
And you can see you working hard at that, really can. We have a great city here. We have the greatest city. To me, this is the greatest city in the nation.
Oh, yeah. And we have problems, and we do, and every city has problems, but we're working hard. I mean, we're working hard. We're working hard, and a lot of people. And Jesse, I'm gonna bring you in this one. You're not gonna like this one, but one of the biggest complaints I get is the walkability and room for bicycles, and I mean the driving around here and motorcycles. I mean it's dangerous. We're like the 4th dangerous in the nation for pedestrian safety, and poor Jesse got hit by a car a while back, didn't you?
Yeah, coming up on the year anniversary next month.
Yeah. Someone, I told that to somebody, they're like, not Jesse, he looks great. I'm like, I don't think he looks great, but
I'll never be as good as I was before I got hit. But
isn't that a country song?
Yeah, probably. You don't look great. I'm sure. No, but I've been blessed. Thankfully the fine folks at that Holmes, they put me all together, like Humpty Dumpty, and fractured vertebrae, broken pelvis. But no, I'm good. I'm not 100%, but
You're here.
I'm walking. I'm upright, and I'm not drooling. Things could have been a lot worse. Things could have been much worse.
Oh, wow. So we're going to do phase one. We're going to get phase one done. And what we're doing, and with the price increases and stuff like that, how much are you short for the other phases?
We're short right now. Just even building this first phase, we're short about $600,000.
That's $600,000.
We really are. And when we started this project about 3 years ago, had our first engineering done. We're at 1.8 in building. Now we're at 3. And Lord's blessed us. Mr. Williams and the crew over there at MH Williams has cut their pricing back greatly. Got subs that are doing some of the stuff free.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about a roof just a little while ago, possibly getting some help there.
Oh yeah.
And so where we come in at there, it's so greatly needed. And our board had enough faith in the Lord and the project to go ahead and say, let's build it, and the Lord will supply it.
Yeah.
And so we've not put that out really till today. Maybe once or twice said a little something to somebody, but we really haven't put that out. And I think now that people see that we're finally at that building stage and we're going forward, I'm not really worried about it.
No, and what we'll do is we'll keep working on getting the volunteers out there for painting and whatever we got to do, and and doing things that can be done to really get this done. Because the overall, it would be nice to get all three. Look, you had the land donated.
Yep.
By the Williamses, they donated the property. That picture that we put up, the form boards are up, and they're getting ready. They're doing the plumbing and stuff.
Yeah, they got CO'd on the drainage sewage part of it. Putting the water in. Started that today.
Yep.
We're running about a week behind because of all the bad weather we've had.
Yeah. Well, what bad weather?
What bad weather?
You mean the rain? The rain every day?
I got up this morning, looked at the first thing I did was turn on TV, looked at the weather.
Yeah.
But anyway, got a little bit behind. We had hoped to have a slab poured by today, but you can see last night they dropped the metal and got everything ready, and they'll get that inspection on the other part, and they'll start pouring slab probably next week sometime.
Good.
They're doing next week.
Good. So each building, I saw, is how many square feet?
Each building is about 10,000 square feet.
About 10,000 square feet per building.
That's generous.
No, that's pretty nice, isn't it?
Well, we want it to be comfortable for our families. We don't want them to be in a shoebox. We want them to be able to enjoy it. We want kids to be able to grow up, have a little space.
Yeah.
We have a playroom there. Going to have a great outside play area for them, and it's a concept that's a little bit different when some people are doing, but like I said, we don't want people to move in and get comfortable, and this is my apartment.
Yeah.
And so all the meals will be fixed there. We'll do the same thing there. We may feed out a little bit out of that kitchen also, but we don't do a lot of that because I believe somebody doesn't need to just stay in the situation they're in if they can.
Well, and I understand, but the way you're designed, that's not going to happen. I mean, the fact is your job training, and that's the biggest thing. You don't stop at just bringing somebody in. You're moving forward, and the success stories that you've had. I mean, you've learned what works and what doesn't, and you're bringing in a woman and their children. That 98% domestic violence situation possibly, and then get them off the street, and a lot of these ladies want to work, but what do I do with my kids? And they'll be able to work, and then next thing they keep moving forward.
There you go. And right now we have two of our guys that are in college, and two more that'll be starting. They've put their FAFSAs in and getting all that taken care of and accepted. So we'll have 4 men doing correspondence college while they're working a job to get their education.
Nice. Okay. We have a lot of employers coming online here at the Melbourne Orlando International Airport. We got the Salt Falcon, which was a Project Vista coming online. A lot of great paying jobs that we're bringing in, and they need good employees.
I push trade a lot because you can always go find a job in a trade.
Oh yeah.
And I think we're seeing a little bit of a trend to turn in our schools. I think our high schools really missed it when they took the trade training out. Those classes out.
Well, I will give Brevard kudos because O'Galley has one of the only aeronautical programs, and each school you can go. They have a great culinary at Palm Bay High.
Yeah.
I mean, there's different each different schools have different subs and different work, but we're doing better. We have to. I mean, a lot of kids they're not meant for college, and college doesn't guarantee you a six-figure job. It doesn't.
No.
You come out of college after 4 years and you got a big debt where you get on with a good an AC company or some company, some construction company or something, and you work to better yourself, because sooner or later that construction company is going to involve it'd be time for them to shut their doors. You're going to have that opportunity to move forward and be your own business owner, be your own boss, and you have that, or you can tag on and be a part of something big.
Yeah, when I graduated from high school, it was pretty well they were pushing college real hard. You're not going to amount to much if you don't, get your college education, things like that. And I think even my parents sort of tried to kick me with that. I didn't go to college till after I was in my late 20s when I started college back, and because I was a business owner, I could afford to go when I wanted to and take that time off and everything. But I started my own business when I was 20 years old in fast food restaurant business, and I looked around. So statistics really didn't mean a whole lot to me until I began to get into children's, working with children that were finding themselves in need a place to live, parents in situations where they couldn't handle the children or unable to take care of the children, and then being in the mission. And the numbers are there. When they say there's a 1.6, 1.8 relapse rate if somebody's been in a 30-day program, those numbers are true. They really are. So I had to learn how to take care of those and really get into those numbers and believe in them. And so probably I don't know whether we'll have as many shelter nights because we'll be a little bit smaller over there starting up. But once we get that second one going, those numbers and the way it is with the women, I'm sure that they'll even be up from those numbers there.
Good. And you know what? I'm very glad and very proud of what you all are accomplishing. And as mayor, you have my support, and we're going to move forward. We're gonna. People want to volunteer. We're going to give them that opportunity, aren't we?
Man, we appreciate it. We really do. And we thank you for letting that be known. But we do survive because of some of the volunteers. We couldn't get it done with just the staff that we have.
And even today they were very proud of the mission. You could tell that they're very happy. It was, I could see even you, because you've been coming to my office. I was telling everybody, squeaky wheel get the grease, and Buddy's squeaking. He's been squeaking for a while, and you can see the look on your face. You're like, finally, finally we get to throw a shovel with dirt. If we got a long way to go. It's gonna, we're gonna look back and we're gonna laugh when we cut the ribbon to the. It's funny because when I'd called you, I'm like, we're doing a ribbon cutting, right? And you're like, no. I was actually messing with you because I'm like, because I know you've been stressing, like, we're doing this. And I figured I was going to mess with you. But I'm like, maybe today's not the day to mess with Buddy. He's like, I got so much going on.
It always starts. When you try to put something on, it always starts, man.
I have a terrible sense of humor sometimes, It
didn't bother me.
Yeah, I figured you'd be like, who are you? But anyway, again, give that number out if people want to volunteer.
321-725-5160. That's the main number at the mission.
Could you add this? Can we add this in the comments if somebody wants to see? And if somebody wants to donate toward the construction or something, even $5 or something, what can they do?
They can call that number. They can drop it in the mail to 2330 Johnny Ellison Drive, and that's in Melbourne, 32901 2330 Johnny Ellison Drive, Melbourne, 32901.
Do you have a PayPal account or anything like that?
We have the ability to give on our website.
Okay.
And that is, of course, www.CITAmission.org.
CITAmission.org.
You can get right there on the website. If you need a pickup of some furniture or items like that, you can call that same number I just gave out, and the phone will direct you in that path. And we'll see about picking you up. We're running about 2 weeks behind on pickups right now, so but that's what keeps us going. Pays the bills, man.
Pays the bills. Well, listen. See, Jesse just put it on. That's good. You're awake over there. You're not drooling.
No. I'm very much awake and aware.
Good.
And one more time with the number.
321.
Yep.
725 5160.
5160.
And that is the main number coming in. And if you'll listen to the spill, you can get to just about anywhere you need to. If you need some help, that number will get you to where you can talk to someone about getting into the mission. Volunteer, it's all on there, and you can find that right number to press and talk to the person that could help you. And one of the things I didn't mention that I'll mention real quick, Mayor, is and I was going to talk to you about it today, and we just didn't have time with all that was going on. But we have a little brochure that we want to put out, and I want to get the blessings of our city to do it before we do it, and have a card, especially by the time we get the women's shelter going over here, is that it has our number on there, and we're willing to have them call us, and we'll come pick them up, middle of the night, whenever it is. And we want to start giving this out to the churches and the people, because really, a lot of people, and you know this better than anybody, they're panhandling out there. They're not homeless, a number of them.
Right.
And so we want to encourage people, don't give the money, give them a card and tell them you can get some help here. You can change your life around here. Yeah. You know, you can get off the streets. You don't have to sleep another night under a tent or under someone's porch or something like that, or around a business, and you can get off the street.
Yeah, and what we've been working on also at the city is putting up signs and stuff. Instead of giving $1 out the window, donate to a nonprofit, and that's great, because that's a message I've been pushing out, that you have to get the people into just standing there doesn't really do anything. It doesn't. I mean, you're just basically just wasting time.
Wasting time, and some people get upset when I say you're wasting your money.
Yeah. Well, no, I say people get mad at me all the time. I mean, people get mad at me all the time saying that. I say it all the time. If you're just handing money out the window, believe me, I would challenge you to just get out of your car, watch for a while, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean,
we watch the corners. We go and we invite people to come. It amazes me when I step out and I see a man that's there panhandling, or sitting there with a
better shape than we're in. and what do they say?
And I say, hey man, I said, why don't you come see the mission? Get a warm bed, food, we'll help you out, and all that kind of stuff. Said, that guy that runs that place, he told me I could never come there. And I said, really? Who was that? He said, the guy that runs it. I said, I don't ever remember seeing you before. I've never said that to anyone.
Oh,
I get told that more than you'd believe.
Yeah, really. I know. Oh, no. I know.
They don't want accountability. They really don't want accountability in their life. And that's what it takes. If they're going to get it together, they've got to learn how to become accountable to someone.
Yep, I agree. And you know what? We'll continue on. But, listen, thank you, everyone. And listen, really, I would ask you as the mayor, support the great mission here for Helen's House and CITA. It really helps our community. I know everybody out there, and we get a lot of people listening and following. And, if you have the ability, if you got some clothes, got anything, old furniture, gently used. I'm going to correct my gently used furniture. Don't. I learned the hard way, because John Casey and I and Tim Thomas and a few others, we did the Bahamas relief, and we had over 100,000 pounds shipped over the Bahamas, and people were bringing like old fur coats. I'm like, no, don't bring old fur coats. We're not taking that to the Bahamas. Now, if you have water or generators, but people, they are doing it out of their heart, but they are. But fur coats aren't going well in Florida right now. Maybe an umbrella.
You bring a dresser in, doesn't have 2 drawers with it. It's in great shape, except for it doesn't have 2 drawers. I'm sure y'all can build something to go in there.
Oh, no, that's anyway, firewood.
That's it, man. That's it. Well, and it costs to go to the dump. It does. We have to pay to go to the dump, and we do quite a bit of that.
Yep.
We really do.
Yep, so. And unfortunately. But all right. Well, do we have any questions, real quick? Let's see if we have any questions, Jesse, for
No, just a lot of praise. So thank you for all tuning in. But yeah, it looks like everybody's just
a lot of people, a lot of comments,
showing a lot of love.
That's wonderful. Praise the Lord, and I thank you, Mayor, for giving us the privilege to come on, and thank you for the job that you're doing here in our city.
Well, like I said, we're putting it all together, and you are a very important part, and I want to thank you and the volunteers, and the volunteers, what they do every day, because they, I kind of look over and I say, look, I care about people, and anybody could be in a tough situation tomorrow.
Certainly.
And but the fact is, through this program and Helen's House and CITA, and it's great for me. It's great for the city. It's great for our community. It's great. And again, I was that little boy at one time, in tough times, and I don't want to see any kid go through that.
Breaks my heart.
Breaks my heart.
Does.
Yep.
Made me tear up today, and I don't do that a whole lot.
Well, I don't know if I meant to do that, but
I stay broken-hearted around the mission.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen. Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you, buddy. I appreciate you coming on. And anything else left to say?
No, I just thank you for this great privilege, and we thank our community, because if it wasn't for our community, we would not get this done, and our church partners and things like that. We're able to do it because of them. We really are.
Yeah, and thank you, everybody that's also donated before.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it coming, right?
That's it, man. Keep
All
it
right.
coming.
Anything else, Jesse?
No, this has been great. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Jesse.
And we'll do an update. We'll be doing updates.
Oh, yeah.
Day.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds good to me.
You're not getting out of it that easy.
It's my first one.
All right, we'll be your last. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and tomorrow's Friday.
That's it, bud.
All right.